Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So OHARA Davies knocks out Lewis Ritson with one almighty left hook. In fact, I say it was one left hook. There was a string of them throughout the fight, but the one that landed that finally finished Ritson and probably broke a rib. I mean, that's what it looked like to me. That was an almighty hellacious punch. Anyway, 9th round knockout for OHARA. This is another fight I predicted wrong. In my preview, I said I thought Ritson might edge on points. But I am surprised that either guy knocked the other one out, because both guys have reputations for being pretty durable and for taking a good shot. And to be honest with you, looking at it, I think I was surprised. I think, you know, why did I get it wrong, or why did Ritson lose the fight is more the question. And I think it's because, okay, let's go through it one thing at a time. The fight started, and I thought the person that would be busier would be Ritson, and Davies would be looking to land individual long punches. He's got very, very long arms. This guy could lay on the floor and paint the ceiling. He hits very, very hard, but I thought in the past, certainly since losing to Taylor, I thought he tends to be a little bit too conservative with his punch output. Not a bit of it. He came out banging. And huge looping punches, a big jab, very, very sort of long, not languid. I mean, they were fast punches, but I just thought this guy's starting much quicker than I thought he would. Now, Ritson, even though he was firing straighter punches and his jab was looking good, he was sort of standing off. And if you look at the Taylor-Davies fight, what Taylor did was he contained Davies by getting in close and not allowing Davies to move those long levers. Ritson didn't do that. Ritson wasn't controlling the range as well as he needed to. There was too much space between them. So from the word go, Davies, especially as he was letting his hands go early, he was able to land a lot of punches early on. Now the question was, could Davies continue with that high punch output, or would his gas tank run low? He calls himself 2 tanks. Not too sure about that. I think probably I gave the first 3 rounds to Davies, but there were moments of success for Ritson. He was banging the body well, not enough of it. Davies himself started to go to the body quite early on. I think from maybe the 3rd round onwards, he started to land a left hook to the pit of the stomach. I can't remember, was it the solar plexus? That may have been the 4th or 5th round. But it really seemed to concern Ritson, who kind of backed off. And Ritson just wasn't letting his hands go enough. He just wasn't working enough. And he wasn't controlling that space between. He wasn't controlling the range well enough. His feet weren't fast enough. Davies neither guy was running, but Davies wasn't standing still. He was moving side to side, a little bit of lateral movement. Not a lot of it, just a little bit. Trying to reset, you know, give himself a chance to reset, trying to keep Ritson off balance. Ritson, I think it got into he kind of got into a groove where he was just being too sort of reticent, well, not cavalier enough. He should have been throwing more punches, even if they missed. And after a few rounds, I think he was a little bit cautious of doing that. He was way too cautious in his output. I think he was a bit cautious to do that because he felt the weight of Davies' punches. And certainly in the 6th round, 6 rounds, I think that by this point, Ritson he'd felt some of those body punches, and he was thinking, this guy hits very, very hard. And he couldn't get out of that groove of trying to be too precise. I thought the fight would be the other way around. I thought Ritson would be the one letting his hands go, and he would be putting it on Davies, and Davies would be the one looking for the individual punches and maybe not firing enough punches and maybe being outworked. It was quite the opposite, This fight, of course, was in Newcastle. Looking at the rows of empty seats, it's very, very disappointing. It didn't look like there were a lot of people there, which is a shame. And this was on Fight TV, which, you know, it's not exactly a, you know, the most well-known channel or platform to put your fights on. So I don't know how much these guys are paid, or whether this was considered a success, this card. But Ritson, yeah, I don't know where he goes from here. In the latter rounds, sort of 7, 8, 9, it was more of Davies. Ritson was shipping punishment. Didn't appear to be hurt at any point to the jaw. The body punches were a different matter. And then in the 9th round, in steps Davies. You can actually hear the corner screaming. That's how few people there were. And they were saying, go to the body, go to the body. And an enormous left hook to the body put Ritson over. He sort of fell backwards onto his right-hand side, and he was in real agony and didn't get up for a few minutes. I mean, it must have been about 4 or 5 minutes before he could sit on the stool. So I'm thinking he's got a busted rib or two. And this, of course, the defeat of Ritson, where does it leave Newcastle boxing? 4 years ago, he was flying, Ritson. And Eddie Hearn, when he was promoting Ritson, was putting shows on in Newcastle. Yeah, Savannah Marshall, of course, is still a big draw in the northeast, but in terms of men's boxing, I'm not so sure now. I don't know what we've got. I mean, perhaps you'll be able to leave some comments below and enlighten me as to what, you know, what's out there. But there was another shocker on the card. Well, not a shocker, but another upset. I suppose you'd call it an upset if you're a fan of these from County Durham. Actually, Thomas Patrick Ward, he took on a guy whose name escapes me, and he got chinned in 5 rounds. Yeah, a guy called Kolmatov, I think his name was, from Ukraine, who only had 10 fights, was it? And Thomas Patrick Ward was 33 wins and 1 draw, and he got knocked out in 5 rounds. And so the northeast boxing is suffering a bit. But certainly in the case of Ritson, you got to ask, where does he go from here? It's not a good result at all. OHARA Davies, I think this was an eliminator. I don't think it was a final eliminator, but it was an eliminator for the WBA title. And yeah, I mean, I give him a lot of respect on Davies now. I mean, the WBA super lightweight title is what he's looking for. This was, I think, an eliminator for that. He's 31 now. And he was very, very emotional afterwards. Ritson was crying and, you know, very emotional because he'd lost. But Davies was as well. And I got the feeling there was a lot of relief there. And when you think back to Davies and the amount of stick he took for having such a fat mouth and saying some stupid things earlier on in his career, and the fact that he essentially quit against Taylor, people were delighted. You know, it was like Adrian Broner losing to Marcus Madana. People were delighted when he lost. And since then, he's you know, got this image of being a quitter. I think we should put a little bit of respect on OHARA Davies' name now, because he went to the northeast, he fought Ritson in his backyard, and he knocked him out. And you can't ask for more than that. But yeah, what did you think? Did you see this fight? If you didn't see it, I'm not surprised, because it was tucked away on Fight TV, but I found myself a stream and I watched it, and it was a good fight, a very, very good performance by Davies. Ritson, I don't think he's ever going to be world class, but maybe he could drop down to European level. I don't know. He's got a lot of rebuilding to do if he wants to carry on. That's his 3rd defeat now, 2 by stoppage. For Davies, he's only lost to Taylor and Jack Catterall, so pretty good record he's developing now. Can he move up and win the WBA super lightweight title? I don't know, but I saw a lot of good stuff tonight. So leave your comments below. Let me know what you think of the fight. Let me know what you think about the state of northeast boxing, and let me know about Lewis Ritson. Where can he go from here? Can he go anywhere? You tell me. Like the video, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for your time as always, and we'll speak again soon. Bye bye for now.